The NRL season is right around the corner, and with that, I'm going to be like every other content creator and putting out my season predictions for the 2025 NRL season. We're going to go through everything here. We're going to talk about who's going to win the Dally M, top try scorer, top point scorer, minor premiers, premierships, wooden spoon, rookie of the year, all the good stuff and stuff that you want to see, and hopefully your club is named there in the good parts. But we'll see. We'll get straight into it. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more footy content coming throughout the 2025 NRL season. I reckon it's going to be the best one yet. Honestly, let's just get straight into it. The big award, the Dally M medal. Now, obviously, we look around the league and there's heaps of guys that could be excelling and getting the Dally M for their club and getting that individual award. Now, obviously, NRL players don't really play for the individual awards because it's a team sport. The ultimate goal is to win a competition. But if you can win that Dally M, it's pretty cool. And it definitely helps your legacy. Now, this year in 2025, the Penrith Panthers are going to rely on this guy a lot. Okay, they've lost Luai, they've lost James Fisher-Harris. They need this guy to come through and play the full season. Touch wood, doesn't get injured. But I think Nathan Cleary should be the favourite for the Dally M medal this year. They've lost consistently. They've lost stars ever since 2020 and moving on into 2024 into the 2025 season. They've lost at least one or two starters every single year. So the fact that they're still there or thereabouts is actually such a testament to these guys. And I think Nathan Cleary, being the halfback, being the instrumenter, the orchestrator, and he's going to be playing essentially against a rookie half. It's just going to be great for Nathan Cleary. And I think like one of the things, there's two things at the moment that are hindering his legacy from being one of the greatest players. Well, I think he's already one of the greatest players ever, but really putting his name in that GOAT conversation is getting a Dally M because all the greats have done that, apart from Darren Lockyer, which is such a travesty, honestly. And as well as dominating Origin series. We've seen him get a few man of the matches and stuff, but he hasn't really just gripped a series by the throat and had that killer instinct. So my pick is Nathan Cleary, but again, it's hard when you're in the Penrith system because of the way the voting works. Because you still got Isaiah Yeo, Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto there. Like those kind of guys are going to be stealing points from him every single week. Honorable mentions in the Dally M race is I've got Tom Drabojevic, obviously, because we know how good he can be when he is on song and is fit. Also, Scott Drinkwater. He seems like whenever the Cowboys are going well, Scott Drinkwater is playing like so well. And he always seems to get like that 6 kind of points when the Cowboys are winning and going well. But again, you've got like Tommy Dearden, Ruben Cotter, Jason Tamalolo when he has a good game. These kind of guys are taking points away from him. So maybe not so likely. I've also got Clint Gutherson there. Now, bear with me for a second because I feel like if the Dragons are to go well this season and make the top 8, it's because Clint Gutherson is leading from the front and just like absolutely taking the games by the scruff of the neck and leading from the front. Similar to how we see when Ben Hunt was at the Dragons, how he'd always be there or thereabouts in the Dally M's because he's just head and shoulders above everyone else. I feel like there's going to be a similar kind of thing for Clint Gutherson. All right, now we've talked about Dally M. Let's go into our top try scorer. Now, obviously, we're looking at wingers around the comp who's going to be on the back end of some pretty good backline shape and just crossing over for a multitude of tries. This year, I'm going to go with Ronaldo Mulatalo. I think the Sharkies are really building for a really good year, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But again, Ronaldo Mulatalo, consistently great try scorer throughout his career. Really, really good. And he's just developing his game year in, year out. He's super athletic. He can start to make his own kind of tries as well. Honorable mentions around the league. I've got 3 here. Jason Saab, again, like Tom Drabojevic, if Manly are playing well, Jason Saab's going to be scoring a bucket load of tries. The only question mark I have around this really is if he can stay fit, because we've seen him pick up a few soft tissue injuries over the last couple of years. But for me, Jason Saab will be there or thereabouts. Last year's top try scorer, Olofiana Pereira. There's no reason why he won't be like honestly scoring even more tries this year if the Titans do improve. And then also Xavier Coates, similar to Jason Saab, as long as he can stay fit, he's going to be there or thereabouts. This guy has scored some absolutely freakish tries that we've seen so far in his short career, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more of those kind of things in 2025. And yeah, if he can stay on the park for the whole season, he'll be there or thereabouts. Then we go to our top point scorer. Similarly, I've got Nathan Cleary as that because if he's getting the Dally M, he's going to be getting top point scorer. Like if he stays fit for the whole year, he'll probably score a handful of tries, kick lots of goals. He'll be there or thereabouts. Honorable mentions, I've got 2 here. Zach Lomax heading over to the Eels. I think like he's starting the season in the center. I think he'll get pushed to the wing by round 6, to be honest. He's just such a good winger. He'll score heaps of tries, can goal kick, but whether he takes it over from Mitch Moses, I'm not so sure. I think, honestly, if he takes that pressure away from Moses, I know it's just goal kicking, but it's just one less thing for Mitch Moses to have to try and think about with his game management. So, yeah, I think Zach Lomax probably take over the goal kicking. Also got Reece Walsh. I think the Broncos bounce back this year for sure. Reece Walsh is so electric, and I think under Michael Maguire, he's really got to knuckle down on those errors and that sort of thing, and like just take his game to the next level with the confidence and ability he has. So I think Reece Walsh will score heaps of tries. Again, probably goal kick. Maybe that's going to be Adam Reynolds, but that's just my opinion that he might take over the goal kicking there, especially because Adam Reynolds consistently picks up an injury here or there, and he's going into the season a little bit underdone because he's had a couple of surgeries and whatnot. So Reece Walsh is another top point scorer. Then we get into the big ones. We've got minor premiers as well as the Wooden Spooners coming up. So the minor premiers, I'm going to go with the Melbourne Storm. They got the minor premiership last year, and their squad just got stronger again for 2025. It's actually ridiculous. Like, they've got the same squad, but they brought in Stefano Utoikamanu, who's one of the most promising front rowers in the whole competition. There is no way that, like, well, look, the Storm will get top four. I'll say that. I'm pretty confident in saying they're going to meet minor premiers as well. Couple of question marks over how Cameron Munster comes back from his double hip surgery. But even then, we saw Cameron Munster miss a fair chunk of game time last year, and the Storm was still able to get minor premiers for like 3 or 4 games. So I think that'll be sweet for that one. Honorable mentions, sorry, is obviously Penrith Panthers, because just how good they are. I've also got the Sharkies. I really think they're building for a really good year so far, like in terms of coming into 2025. I'll talk about this a bit more in the like ladder prediction video that I'll do closer to the comp kicking off. But like, I just think everything sort of seems to be like manifesting well for the Sharks. They've got this like squad that's like really like they love each other. They've been around for ages. There's people buying in. They're adding little bits and like little pieces here and there to really strengthen up their squad. I think they're going to be great in 2025. And then the teams I've got competing for the premiership is those 3 teams. The Storm, I think, are going to win it this year. Panthers just have lost a bit too much quality, I think, in my opinion, for them to go back to back to back to back to back. Yeah, I don't think they're going to get 5 in a row, which it's just in the salary cap era, the fact that we're even saying 5 in a row is just ridiculous. And I think, as I said before, the Storm have got better from last year, and then the Sharks as well. I think everything's just sort of building up for this year. I heard someone say not too long ago that premierships are built over 4 or 5 years, not just in that one season. And I think that's exactly what the Cronulla Sharkies are doing. Then our Wooden Spoon. I've honestly got no idea, which is sensational to say about the rugby league, because usually there's like 1 or 2 teams that are really like glaring out from the rest of the pack about who's like the worst team in the comp. Like, it's been the Tigers the last few years, and I think everyone goes into those seasons sort of knowing it's going to be the Tigers come like September. But this year, it's really hard for me to see one team that like is worse than the pack. At the moment, my contenders that I've got are the Warriors. I just think we're losing Sean Johnson and Tohu Harris. Like, it's a lot of experience. I know they're getting James Fisher Harris level, which is great, but they don't really have that organized 7 around them. However, in saying that, I did have a bit of a deep dive. Tohu Harris had like a 35% winning percentage last year, and Johnson had like a 40% winning percentage, and the Warriors had a better winning percentage without them. So maybe that's worth something. And I've also got like the Knights. I've just got a feeling that with the squad they've got at the moment, like that something needs to change. Obviously, you keep Ponga and that sort of thing, but I can just sort of see it going a little bit tits up for him. I know Adam O'Brien, his like job has sort of been scrutinized a fair bit over the last 12, 18 months, and they always seem to rally around it and go on a streak of like 3 or 4 really good games. He keeps his job, then they drop off again, and that cycle can't keep continuing. You're not going to win a comp like that. That's just not the way it works. And then I've also got, unfortunately, the Tigers, just because of that culture that's there. Obviously, you're bringing in a stack of guys that are going to help that culture, but there's still 25 guys in that top 30 squad that have been used to like that losing culture. And this year, we're really going to see, can Benji Marshall actually coach? All right, let's go on to our Rookie of the Year. Really my favorite award. I love the rookies coming through every single year. It's just a really good watch, and see, it's going to be our next stars. Now, if you've been watching my content, following closely, you know that I think I'm actually in love with this guy. Jamie Humphries. I think like his primary positions are hooker and halfback, 2 positions at the South. They don't have a locked down at the moment. Obviously, Lewis Dodd's probably going to start at 7, and then your 9, it's probably between Jamie Humphries and Peter Amazelas. I think Jamie Humphries is a really, really good footballer. We saw him debut last year for Manly at halfback and kill it. Scored a try. It was great. I think his ceiling is massive. And I think he'll probably consistently play. Like, he'll probably play, hopefully, fingers crossed, without injury, 24 games for the Rabbitohs this year. And I think that'll be enough to consistently be a first grader. Probably start as well at hooker. And yeah, I think he's going to end up being Rookie of the Year. But by the time the Dally M Awards roll around, get him in Supercoach teams. Honorable mentions, I've got Bobby Toy up for the Roosters. He's had raps on him since forever. You also got Tamale, who left from the Dragons to the Raiders. I was devastated as a Dragons fan that Tamale left. I thought he would have been great for us for the future. Staying on the Dragons theme, we've got Lockout Pacifica Tonga, bloke dead set bigger than Payne Haas and moves like Jason Tomalolo in 2015 era. Like, bloke is ridiculous. Now I want to talk about like my surprise team heading into 2025, as well as like a swing side, a team that can like either be top four or be bottom four. Like that's just like how much like gap they have sort of in their team. Like things can go really right or really wrong. My surprise team, I've got two here. I've got the Sydney Roosters and the Canberra Raiders. The Roosters for the fact that it's like, yes, they've lost heaps of players and heaps of experience, but that might actually be what they need. They might just need like a big just overhaul, a lot of young blood coming through, and just a little bit of a like tweak in the system and getting everyone playing like as good as they can, because the team's still stacked. They've still got James Tedesco, Sam Walker when he comes back from injury, Connor Watson who played for the Blues last year, Brandon Smith who on his day is great. You also got like your Angus Crichtons of the world, Victor Radley. Like there's still like so many really good players in that Rooster squad, and there's no reason why they can't make the finals. I know everyone's writing them off, me a little bit too, but like if they do make the top eight, I'm not shocked. And we've got the Canberra Raiders. Ricky Stewart just he loves this stuff. He loves the fact that everyone wants them to get the wooden spoon. It buoyed him last year, and it's going to buoy him again this year. I don't think this squad is bad enough to get the spoon, if that makes sense. Like yes, they're inexperienced, but they're still really good players in the spine. And their full pack is filled with guns. Tapane, Papali, Corey Hallsborough probably is going to come off the bench. Like their team's actually stacked. Trey Mooney is going to be better again this year. You've got Zach Hosking ready for a full year. They got that fellow they signed over from England who's going to be good. Like, yeah, I think the Raiders will probably be top eight or there or thereabouts again, because that's just what Ricky Stewart does. They're my biggest swing sides. Spoke about before, the Knights. We've seen how good they can go as a squad. They can be a top four team, or again, they can be a bottom four team. The Dragons, they brought in like they recruited really, really well. And I think their squad generally, their top 30 squad is a lot stronger than last year. Whether that means finals or not, I'm not so sure, because there's a lot of good teams coming into 2025. And this is the thing, I can see them like being like around that 6th or 7th spot or 15th, 16th. It's just the way that, like, unfortunately with the Dragons, it's just the spot they're in at the moment. Then the Bunnies, because we saw last year how poor they went. I don't think they'll do that again under Wayne Bennett, but we also seen under Wayne Bennett, they can make a prelim and a grand final. So that's like the two very big ends of the spectrum, and that's what has happened with this exact Bunny squad. So we'll see what happens with them here. Then the same again for the Warriors. I've got them as a swing side, because I wouldn't be surprised if they made top eight, and I wouldn't be surprised if they finished bottom four. It's just, again, the nature of like Warriors are a little bit different as well, because they've got that travel aspect that just does take a toll. I feel like with the Warriors, like maybe your plan moving forward is they just rotate players like throughout like a couple of the years, like have like players for like most teams probably build for like a 4 or 5 year, like 4, 5, 6 year cycle. I feel like the Warriors, they got to like half that, because especially these Aussie boys, like they just get so fatigued after a couple of years, and you watch them, they go over there, their form skyrockets, and they tail off, and it's probably a mix of homesickness and just travel, just gets them so much. Which, look, they're human, you can't really blame them. So they're my season predictions for the 2025 NRL season. Let me know if you think they're absolutely rubbish, or if you like them, who you think's going to like be the premiers, minor premiers, wooden spooners, rookie of the year, all that good stuff. Drop them in the comments. It's been nice and respectful though. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want some more content. And as always, don't forget to Scotty, drink your water, and Brabham, do your best.